Well, it's 8:40 in the morning. I got a lot to do today. I got a project that I'm going to work on my laser. I'm making a game. I'm also making a holder for my glue bottles. And I'm also going to be working on a project for my wife. So I got to get out a table saw and my planer today. I got a bunch of cedar boards. I only need one, but if I'm going to run one through my planer, I'm going to run all of them. And I think I have 10 or 12 boards. So I'm just going to set up the planer. I'm just going to do it all at once. And then I'll do it on the table saw. I'll cut them all down to the same size. So if I do another project, that wood's ready to go. And I don't have to pull out my planer. My planer is heavy. And so I'm going to take it outside. I'm going to take my table saw outside, make the mess out there because I do have a little area out there to work with. So I'm just going to take you along for that. So I'm going to fire up my laser and then I'm going to get my tools out of here because it's going to fill up my shop with smoke because I don't have an exhaust fan yet. So while my laser's working in here, I'm going to be right out that door running all my equipment. So I'm waiting a little bit. It's 8:45 in the morning, so I don't quite want to fire up my planer until at least 9. So, but it will take me that long to get everything out there, get a couple extension cords, and get it all set up. So I'm just going to take you along for the day. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so the first thing I got to do today is I got to make a slide for my planer out of this. So the last homeowner left this as a shelf. I don't like these as shelves, but I use it in my planer because it's smooth and it helps my planer. And my last one that I had in Hawaii got ruined by Hawaii. So I'm gonna make one of those first and then I'll set up my planer. But like, man, if you don't have these cable cuffs, you should get some. They're cheap and they work great for extension cords. Okay, so my planer has these wings, little feed trays or whatever. So this groove fits right around that. Just like that. So now it's a nice smooth surface for my wood to go travel down. It's not quite wide as my old one, but hey, this was free and it took me literally 2 minutes to make. So I'm gonna go get the cedar and then we're gonna run it through here. Okay, so I just ran all the boards through the planer and I had my camera on slow-mo instead of time-lapse. Oh well, sorry you missed out. So cedar boards, you never know what you're gonna get on thickness. So some boards turn out smooth, and some boards turn out rough like this one, like it hasn't even been through the planer. But it's thin and I don't want to keep running it through. So now all my boards are the same thickness. Now we're gonna go and we're gonna cut the edge off and then cut the other edge off so that they're all exactly the same size. So that when I do a project, I know that they're 5 inches by 1/2 inch or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna do that on high speed this time. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut the cedar boards down to 5 1/4. And then I'm gonna flip them over and cut them down to 5. So then all my boards will be the same thickness, all 5 inches wide. So I'm gonna switch the camera over to high speed and get that done. Okay, I got them all done. So actually a couple of them were already cut down to 5 inches. So I must have did that in Hawaii and forgot. But now they're all 5 inches. They're all the same thickness. And a pile of cedar. So when I was in Hawaii, I would plane stuff like this and I would keep it, and then I would put it in my chicken coop. So I would put my free cedar chips. I wouldn't waste anything. But here, I don't really have any place for cedar chips. So I'm gonna go in and check the laser. It's got, the one's already done. I got like 6 rounds of stuff I got to laser for this game. And then I got to laser up a few more things to make my little holder for my glue bottles. And then I got a project that I'm doing for Beth, which is why I brought out the table saw. But since I brought out the table saw, I'm doing all these other things so that once my tool's out, set up, I'm making a mess. I try to get as much done as I possibly can. So it's a beautiful day. It's only 9:50, so Beth just left for work. So I'm just gonna carry on running. So it's cutting all these out into 2x3 inch squares for my game that I'm making. And I'm making these little cards. Okay, so that's one set. This is a half a set. So that's a half a set, and this is a full set. So I'll run 3 full sets, 3 half sets, and then I'll switch those to be the 8, 9 through 12, and then I'll run 3 more sets, 3 half sets. I'll give me 9 sets. I was gonna do 8, but it works out that I'm doing 9, so I'm just gonna do 9. But this is for a game that I'm making, so we can play with our friends. So now what I'm doing is I'm gonna cut this 2x4 down to 3/4 of an inch. So Beth wants me to make some shelves in one of her closets in her craft room. And we already have the boards for the shelves from back in Hawaii, but I need something to put around the edge. So I was gonna buy 3/4 or 1x2 already made, but they were like $6 a board, $6 each. So I bought some 2x4s. I'm just gonna rip my own. I don't need to waste money on $6 when I can buy a 2x4 for less than $6 and make, I don't know, 5 of them, 6 of them, whatever. So I'm gonna switch the camera over to high speed again. I'm trying to make this video a little bit short, but I got a lot going on today. So I got this little feed table to help catch the 2x4 when it comes off, and I'm just gonna rip these through. Okay, so I got 8, which is enough for the project that we got to do. So I just sand those up a little tiny bit. Probably not going to do it today. So anyways, project's all done. I'm going to clean up my mess. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take this cedar that I just planed and ripped, and I want to make a box for these little cards. So I'm just going to cut the sides, the ends, and then on the sides I'm going to rip a little, I'm going to rip a little channel for a lid to slide in, little box. You'll see. I should have broke this up into multiple videos, into multiple projects, the laser project and all the other projects, but whatever. So I'm just gonna rip this down to size so that I can make my box. So this is the side of the box, and then this will slide. So this will be a lid. I know this is a card, but it's the same stuff I'm gonna make the lid out of. So then the lid will slide in and out of the box. So this will be the sides. That one's gonna be the 2 ends. Obviously, I can make a lot of boxes, which I might, but I don't know how long it's gonna be once I have 9 sets of these. ready to go, but I already have it ready if I want to make a gift, right? That way I'm not wasting anything. So I don't like wasting. Wasting is wasting God's blessing. God blesses me with money, and if I waste it, I'm wasting the blessing, correct? So I don't like wasting anything. So I'll make as many boxes, and then if I decide to give this as a gift, I may do that. So it should be pretty cool. But I gotta make the right size lid, which I'll do on the laser because it cuts this stuff really well. And then I'll laser the name of the game inside on top of the lid and stuff. All right, so I'm not using a tape measure. I'm using the card. So when I slide this into my table saw, I know exactly how wide and everything. So I'm not even using a tape measure. Just use what you have and then just put it on the table saw and set it up. It's a lot simpler. Then you don't have to use tape measure. Okay, so I cut enough for 3 boxes. Am I gonna make 3 boxes? Maybe. Why not? Once I get everything set up, it's almost easier to make 3 boxes than 1 box. So maybe I'll have a couple extra little boxes laying around, and then if I decide to give it as a gift, all I gotta do is laser the stuff up. I already got the program. All I gotta do is put the stuff in there and hit start. So maybe somebody watching will get a gift. Who knows? All right, carrying on. So now we're gonna make up my little holder for my glue bottles, my 2 glue bottles. So I'm just gonna kick it on to high speed because this video is already too long. But I saved you the painstaking watching me cut all this out and sand it. So we're ready for assembly. So let's get that done. Okay, I'm gonna go sand the edges, make it look pretty, and then I'm gonna put the cover on it, or the front piece, and then I'll stain it. There you have it, all done. Looks pretty cool. I'll give you a close-up because I lasered Ninja 1100 XX into it because I have a Ninja 1100 XS. And then I did a project yesterday. This right here, I did this yesterday. And then the cuttings of that, where I cut that out, I pin nailed to my wall. So I'll give you a close-up of that. Looks pretty cool. There you go, the box. And then there's the cutting of that. Pin nailed to the wall. Looks pretty cool. So we got the box made up. So then I'll put a bottom on it, I'll sand it, put a bottom on it, and then the lid will slide in here, which I'll cut out on the laser. So I did 3 of them. Because that's what I had wood for. So I'm just doing 3 at a time. Okay, I got all the pieces made. Now I'm just going to assemble the box. Okay, it's all done. So the game is Help Your Neighbor. One of our friends, we played it on our trip here, but they had cards, and I had a hard time picking the cards up because I don't really have fingernails, so I decided to make my own. And I'm not selling it, it's mine, so there's no trademark issues. So there is room for a set of dice in the box. So it's awesome. I'm gonna go get the dice from my wife and show her the box. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of long. I was doing a lot of projects at once, so it's been a full day. It's 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and I hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, I do appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Catch you later. Bye.